Alright folks, thank you for checking in with Stormtopia.com and the Stormtopia.com Facebook page. We're in a daily weather update right now, looking towards an event which I do think has the potential to be a significant rain producer, not only for the Ohio Valley, but also over the East Coast. And I just want to get to some of the factors that could lead to this event for some potential spring flooding. Now, I'll take you out to some of the guidance that I've been talking about, primarily the GFS and the Euro, because they've been the models, I think, doing the best job that have been in range at this time. So here we are out to 9 p.m. on Friday. We've got an immensely strong high pressure over New England. We've got a developing rain over the Ohio Valley, and I can take you back over to the GFS precipitation plot, and here we go. Here we are by the time period, and you see what's happening is we've got rain developing across the Ohio Valley. We've got immense high pressure, and as the evening wears on, that high pressure over New England is going to shift offshore and should be positioned through the day on Saturday southeast of Nova Scotia. Meanwhile, what leads me to think, and what leads some of the guidance to think, especially the Euro, that this could be such a significant rain producer is where our precipitation is coming from. And what do I mean by that? We'll take you out to 12Z on Saturday, when the rain should be getting well underway at this time, or maybe we'll do a little before. Here we are at 9 p.m. Friday, okay? That high is east of New England, alright, southeast of Nova Scotia. If you follow those isobars, where's our precipitation coming through? Right out of the tropical Atlantic, where there's no shortage of moisture. And the concern for heavy rain becomes when around this time of year we commonly see, we're talking about the May 2006 event, the New England spring flooding of last year, we see those isobars getting tapped right out of the tropical Atlantic. That, just to me and many others, to many other meteorologists, just screams major flooding event. Whenever you see precipitation getting tapped out of the Gulf and the Atlantic, that's one thing. But out of the tropics, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, that is where there's just a whole nother deal, and that is the concern right now. So, as we make our way out to 12Z on Saturday, the situation here breaking down is we've got heavy rain developing through the Ohio Valley. The high pressure system is just strengthening as it moves its way well offshore of New England. At this point, just due south of Newfoundland, and this is a 1043 high pressure system, which is extremely strong, and that's one of the reasons why I think this storm is being underdone in terms of precipitation on the GFS and not on the Euro at this time. And here we are to 12Z, and what's happening is that precip is just streaming all the way up through the East Coast. Those shadings that you see offshore, those are the winds, and those winds are 10 to 30 miles an hour, you say, or 10 to 30 knots, and you say, oh, big whoop, 10 to 30 knots, but when you're getting a 10 to 30 knots wind that's coming out of the tropical Atlantic, that means you're bringing moisture from the tropical Atlantic at 10 to 30 knots, which is a rapid influx of moisture in the meteorological world. At this point, you're also getting a surface low developing in the western portions of the Tennessee Valley that's going to move north and strengthen as it does so through the day on Saturday, and that's exactly what happens. Here it is as a just over 1,000 millibar high in the upper Ohio Valley by Saturday evening. At this point, you're getting another influence developing out of Canada, a 1037 bubble high, and what happens here is that you see some cool air, new, cool, fresher air spreading back into the northwest quadrant of the precipitation shield by the evening hours of Saturday, which could result in a quick burst of ending snow from Minneapolis back to Chicago, as far east as Detroit, but that would be pushing it probably out to around Flint City, Michigan. Meanwhile, you're tapping this entire time, and you're getting heavy rain through the Ohio Valley, and as we go out through time into Sunday, we get that low spinning back up through the Appalachians, and at that point, I want to switch you over to the precipitation plot. So here we are, out to this late Saturday, and there's your heavy precip over the Ohio Valley. Early Sunday, that's moving over the Appalachians, And then through the day on Sunday, one of the concerns here is that, well, concerns if you don't like rain, which most of us, that is not the case, but the idea is possibly that the 1037 bubble high pushes the rainstorm east once it gets east of the Appalachians very rapidly. But my argument is that this immensely strong high pressure system east of just southeast of Newfoundland at this point is going to be stronger, around just under 1045, and the one over Canada is going to be around between 1035 and 1040. So the stronger one would want to keep the precip over for an extra couple of hours over the East Coast. And I don't know why the guidance is thinking that the one over Canada is going to have a stronger impact. And as we go out through time, that precip does shift over the East Coast for a short time period Sunday night, but not enough to cause flooding, only 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe street and urban flooding and things of that nature. But as we make our way out to 12Z on Monday, we got prolific amounts of precipitation firing just off the East Coast, guys. And my concern here is that if this high strengthens once it's southeast of Newfoundland, it's gonna push that precip west, okay, or not allow it to go east, if you will, and that would just put all this heavy precip, 0.75 to 1.5 in a 6-hour period for an excess of 12 to 18 plus hours over the East Coast, and that would be after an already 10 to 20 hour period of half-inch to inch rain rates. So these rains are going to be pretty prolific if they, these rain rates aren't going to be prolific, but they could have a prolific impact if they're around for for a full day or so. That is the concern. Okay, the GFS wants it to fire offshore, but if we look to the Euro says the Euro is kind of more in line with what I'm thinking, with the high pressure system southeast of Newfoundland ends up being pretty darn strong during this time period and doesn't allow the precip to go very far off the East Coast, and it ends up firing right up along the East Coast, around along the megalopolis. And that is the concern, and that's why the Euro has, unlike the 1 to 2 inches of rain that the GFS has, the Euro has widespread 1 to 2 inches, but isolated amounts of 2 in excess of 4 inches, and there could be even excess of 5 or 6 inches if this whole thing ends up materializing, and that would be over the East Coast. Further west, there's very good agreement on a 1 to 3 inch rain event where heavy flooding has already occurred across the Ohio Valley. A lot of the state of Ohio is going to be experiencing moderate and even some spots major river flooding, especially the northern portion of the state due to the snow melt that will be an influence on the event. Okay, so significant river flooding is expected for many. We'll just have to figure out how significant it's going to be, and it may take a while to determine. So stay tuned to Stormtopia.com and the Stormtopia.com Facebook page, and have a great day.